Good afternoon and welcome to the Tameside Reporter Sports Show. We're at Boundary Park this week to celebrate the launch of our brand new weekly paper, the Oldham Reporter. We'll be talking about Oldham Athletic, who are hoping to kick-start their season at Rotherham this weekend. We'll hear from manager John Sheridan, who previewed the game on Thursday. We'll also bring you all the reaction from a dramatic game at the Butcher's Arms between Glossop and Droylsden, and we've also got an interview with Curzon Vice Chairman Wayne Salkeld. So we'll start this week talking about Oldham Athletic, whose miserable start to the season continued with a 2-1 defeat at league leaders Shrewsbury. Despite the loss, manager John Sheridan remains upbeat and thinks his side are improving.
Yeah, performance was okay. I don't think we started the game well. Once we conceded the goal, that's when we've done it on a few occasions. For some reason, I don't know why we keep doing it, but we go a goal down and then we react, and we finish the half strong and obviously get the goal, get us back on level terms, and we're the better team. And then going out second half, we're the better team leading up to, I said before to you, little things, or well, not little things, but if you take your chances, and when you have chances to score goals, you can change the way the game's going to go. And it was a great chance from Doyley. He's done everything right other than put it in the back of the net. So
Mark, a disappointing start to this season for Oldham, but one positive is Craig Davis, who seems to be coming into his own here at Boundary Park.
Yeah, he scored 4 in 4, signed for the club over summer, penned a 2-year deal. He's been at a few clubs in his time. He signed for Bolton Wanderers in 2013 for £300,000, so that shows just how good he is. And he's also partnered up with Owen Doyle this season, and the two are on fire at the moment.
So Mark mentions that partnership there, but Owen Doyle was suspended this weekend. How much of a loss will that be?
Well, it'll be a big miss because obviously 2 goals, 2 assists from him. I think he scored against Bristol and Charlton. He's been sort of the bright spark for Oldham recently. I think they'll definitely miss him this weekend.
And so looking ahead to this weekend then, Mark, Oldham travelled to 8th place Rotherham. It's going to be a tough trip to the New York Stadium.
Yeah, very tough trip. 8th place Rotherham United. Of course, they had 3 seasons in the Championship, although last season they went through quite some upheaval, especially managerial-wise. Neil Warnock, the previous season, didn't want to extend his contract, so he left. Alan Stubbs came in, didn't last too long. He was replaced by Kenny Jackett, who then left the club, and he was replaced by Paul Milne, who's now with the club.
So, just to pick out Kiefer Moore there, he's scored 6 goals since joining on loan for Ipswich Town, so Oldham's defence is going to have to be wary this weekend.
Well, let's hope Oldham can pick up their season at Rotherham this weekend, but we'll move into Tameside now and talk about Curzon Ashton, who couldn't repeat their FA Cup heroics from last season. They were beaten at the first stage at the weekend away at Stockport County. It was 1-0 thanks to an Adam Thomas winner, but Curzon nearly snatched an equaliser right at the death after Matt Reagan's effort hit the bar. Mark, I know you were at the game. Was 1-0 Stockport a fair reflection?
I think in the second half, yes. For me, Curzon were very sluggish in the game, although having said that, Stockport were exactly the same. However, Stockport came out in that second half, I think, with more power, more impetus up front, and I think in the end 1-0 is a fair result. Although having said that, Curzon right near the end hit the bar, should have taken it to a replay.
So Curzon have got to try and bounce back at Brackley this weekend, but that's a really difficult trip.
You could say that. They've won 6 games this season. They've only lost 1, that was against Salford City, which I don't think anyone will blame them for. Now, they did just miss out on the playoffs last season, Brackley, but I think that's probably because they played so many games in the FA Cup. I mean, it was an amazing run for them, wasn't it?
Yeah, fantastic run. They beat Gillingham, and then they went to Blackpool in the second round. Unfortunately, fell to a 1-0 defeat at Bloomfield Road. And I think actually on the day, Brackley Town had more fans at Bloomfield Road than the Blackpool fans, because obviously they were protesting the Carl Loyston administration.
So in other news at the Tameside Stadium, the juniors are preparing for a trip to Madrid in October. Mark spoke to Vice Chairman Wayne Salkeld about the trip.
Well, we was approached by Trans World Soccer about organising the trip to Madrid for the juniors. So obviously we looked at it because obviously we've got 450 kids at the club. So we thought it would be an ideal situation to go to Madrid and put Curzon on the map, really. So what we'll be doing is we'll be taking a number of age groups, girls and boys, from 10 upwards, and we'll basically go and play in Spanish teams in Madrid, and obviously then we have an ideal situation where we're going to be training on actually Real Madrid's training pitch. So it's a great experience for the players and the club, and then hopefully we're going to watch a Madrid game while we're there as well. We're really excited. Obviously what we're trying to do at the football club is like I said before, he's put Curzon on the map. That's why it's really important that we do get this 3G, and hopefully it'll take us more forward as a football club.
So we'll move across town to Ashton United now, who also suffered FA Cup heartbreak at the weekend. They lost 2-1 at Newcastle at Benfield, which, Mark, is a really shocking result considering the difference in league standings between the two teams.
Well, yeah, I mean, Ashton entered that game 2 divisions above Newcastle Benfield, so on paper Ashton should have won this one. It didn't turn out that way, and I know that manager Jody Banham was understandably very disappointed at the result.
Well, Ashton bounced back just 72 hours later, beating Marine 4-3 thanks to a last-minute winner from Mark Lees. Lee, that just shows what great character Jody Banham has instilled in his side.
Yeah, great determination. I know Banham was very pleased with his side. He said they probably should have won 4-0, not 4-3. Great to score 4 goals, and obviously they had a lot of first-team players missing with that injury crisis up there, so I think it's a great result.
So this weekend, Ashton travelled to 14th place Nantwich Town. Have we got a prediction?
For me, I'm going to go for a 1-1 draw. Nantwich last season missed out in the playoffs, not started this season too well. I think they're in 14th position at the moment, so their record's not too great, and I think Ashton will take that momentum from Tuesday's win into the tie.
Absolutely, like Mark said, I think it could be an Ashton win, because I think Nantwich are a good side, certainly as good as last season. I just don't think they've sort of started their season yet. It seems to me like they're struggling to get going.
Well, let's hope the boys are right and the Robins can pick up 3 points. We'll talk about Stalybridge Celtic now, who were knocked out of the FA Cup last weekend against Chorley. They returned to league action on Tuesday night, but were hammered 4-1 by Witton Albion. Mark, Stalybridge have now played 10 games this season and lost 8. Just what's gone wrong at Bowerfold?
I don't know, to be honest with you. Steve Burr entered the club, brought in a load of new players over summer, and with his track record you thought, yeah, they'll be challenging this season. For whatever reason, it's not clicked. They've only scored 10 goals this season. I think they've conceded 20, so they're leaking too many goals for my liking, not scoring as many as they should be doing, and that's a reflection of the table.
And another issue is the disciplinary record. I know Danny Morton was red carded on Tuesday. It's a real problem for Stalybridge this season.
Yeah, I've read online that it was a reckless challenge from Danny in the centre of play, and we already know that Celtic's defence is vulnerable, so for him to be missing the next 3 games, it doesn't do them any favours.
So this weekend, Bridge are away at Colville Town, which the stats, looking at the stats, it suggests they're in for another tough afternoon.
It does. I mean, obviously they've scored 17 goals this season, which suggests a fantastic attack, but they've also conceded 16. So I certainly think there's something for Celtic to take advantage of there, especially with new signing John Kofi. If he can get in and around them, and that should certainly give him sort of the confidence boost to sort of lift Bridge out of what is a troubling spell for them.
Yeah.
So we'll move on to the Evo Stick First Division North now, where the game of the week no doubt came on Tuesday night. Glossop beat Droylsden 3-2 in a topsy-turvy game, but Droylsden had a blatant penalty claim turned down in the last minute. Let's take a look. Lads, I know the next day we were looking at that clip online and we couldn't believe what we saw. How did the referee miss that?
Well, I was at the game and I couldn't believe what I saw in real time. I know that Lee uploaded the clip in slow motion, and when you see it in slow motion, it's unbelievable. But like you said then, Glossop did get the 3-2 victory, and on balance, I don't think it was a fair result.
You don't think? Why is that?
Because I thought Droylsden played some good passing football. I thought both sides were very good on the evening. I'll see them both pushing for promotion this season. But like I said then, Droylsden should have been awarded that penalty, and had they scored it, it's 3-3.
Well, Mark spoke to both Glossop manager Paul Phillips and Droylsden boss Dave Pace after that game. Let's see what they both had to say.
I thought we deserved the win. I thought kept going to the end. I thought the substitutions came on. I thought as soon as we equalised, I thought it was only one team that looked like they wanted to win. Give away a sloppy goal. So we knew that listen, Droylsden are going to try and play a nice, pretty football, and we let them play in the right areas. We set our team up to make sure that when they was playing, after 60-70 minutes when they're tiring, we've got 3 lads come on there. And so for me, they changed the game, changed the impact of the game that all 3 had. thought we deserved the victory.
Well, if we're doing a boxing match, I'd have threw the towel in. Just thought we dominated from start to finish. Clawed our way, should have been all over at half time, didn't take our chances, and then we found ourselves 1-0 down at half time. Regrouped, to be fair, we did okay, come back and then managed to claw our way and got 2-1 in front, totally in control, and then just passed the suicide button. We ended up like with 10 minutes to go, 2-1 up, and then all of a sudden we 3-2 down with 9 men, and should have got the equaliser. The definite penalty, everyone can see. I don't know whether your camera's seeing it, and everyone's seeing it in the ground except the referee. But it's just a manner of the thing. We've just got to grow up a little bit and kill games off. We're just far too good for where we are. We should be miles in front. We should, for my own opinion. But we are where we are.
So Glossop are back in action against Colne this weekend at home. Great opportunity to make it 6 wins out of 6.
Absolutely, Glossop have started fantastic, but what a contrast it is for Colne. Obviously nearly getting back-to-back promotions in the last 2 years, but they started this season, they're in 19th, and that's not where a club like that should be.
Droylsden travel to struggling Trafford this weekend. I'm going to ask you for another prediction, boys.
For me personally, I'm going to go for a Droylsden 3-0 victory. Trafford really struggling this season. They did well last season, but for whatever reason, just like Colne, they're not putting in performances.
Yeah, it's very difficult at this level, isn't it? Teams turn over so much during the summer that it can be a completely different team one year from the next. And like I said, we saw Droylsden last year who struggled a bit. Now they're doing fantastic this year. So again, I'd go with Mark, maybe 2-0, 3-0.
Well, the thing is, Trafford brought in one of the most experienced and best goalkeepers in non-league in Grant Shenton over summer, and he's conceding a load at the moment. So don't really know what's going down at Trafford at the moment, but hopefully they'll be able to turn it around, but not at Droylsden's expense. Pretty much.
Let's talk about Hyde United now, and it's been a fantastic week for the Tigers. They travelled to Warrington Town at the weekend in the FA Cup second qualifying round. They went 1-0 down, but thankfully Carl Jones popped up in the 90th minute to salvage a replay, which the Tigers then won 2-0 on Tuesday night. Mark, that's now 20 games unbeaten for Hyde. There's no stopping them.
Unreal, no stopping them. You looked at that game on Tuesday. Hyde were the underdogs who were playing Warrington Town of the Evo 6 Premier Division. Warrington sat top of that division as well. So looking at it on paper, they should have been beaten. However, 2-0 victory, comprehensive from what I've been told. So great result, and they've been rewarded with a tie in the next round at Boston Town.
And also £4.5 prize money. Big money for clubs at this level.
Yeah, big money. If that goes into a playing budget, bring in some decent players, help them get promotion. Not that they need it anyway, because looking at the record at the moment, with the squad they've already got, they're going to get promotion. My opinion anyway.
Well, Hyde will be back on that promotion push this weekend at home to Ossett Town, who also progressed to the next round of the FA Cup at the weekend, beating Atherton Cole. So a good test for the Tigers.
Yeah, they've won 2 of the last 3 games, haven't they? And although they did go down 2-0 to South Shields on Tuesday, they reached the playoffs last season, so it certainly shows there are no mugs in this division. I think it could be a difficult game.
Yeah, just regarding Ossett, obviously playoffs last season, doing all right this season. So yeah, I think it's going to be a difficult game, but one that's winnable.
So last but not least, we'll talk about Mossley, and the Lily Whites ended Ramsbottom United's unbeaten run last weekend thanks to a 2-0 victory at William Ellis with a brace. But then on Tuesday they faced a tough trip to Scarborough, going down 4-1. Mark, it was always going to be a difficult night, but 4-1 perhaps too heavy a defeat.
Maybe, but going to Scarborough at any time of the year, always going to be difficult. It's actually one of the most difficult trips of the season for any club in that division. They were playing at a new stadium, artificial pitch, so maybe Mossley couldn't adjust to those conditions. I don't know. 4-1 doesn't look good, but I'm sure they'll bounce back.
Well, this weekend Mossley hosts recently promoted Atherton Collieries before travelling to Ossett Town on Tuesday night. Just how many points can the Lily Whites pick up from those 2 games?
It's a difficult one, isn't it?
It's difficult because predictions never seem to materialise when I come out with them.
We're not very good.
Like I said, if you look at Mossley's recent form, apart from that 4-1 drubbing at Scarborough Athletic, they've done really well this season. So if they can put that behind them, then I see no reason why they can't get a maximum points return.
Same as Mark, I think maximum points might be a big ask, but I think Mossley, they started the season on fire, they were really good, but they seem to have sort of hit a lull over the past couple of weeks. I think if they can get that early season form back, I think it'd be brilliant. What I have also noticed, I follow them on Facebook and things like that, and they've done brilliant with the commercial side of things recently. They've got sort of player sponsors in and things like that. All that brings money into the club, and especially in Mossley, where it's quite a tight-knit community, I think it's a fantastic way to sort of make the club pay.
Well, let's hope Mossley and the rest of our teams can pick up wins this weekend and into next week. But that's all we've got time for this week. Don't forget, for a more in-depth roundup of all Tameside sports, you can listen to the Sporting Spotlight with Mark tonight on Tameside Radio at 6 o'clock. And don't forget to pick up your copy of the brand new Oldham Reporter, out now in newsagents.